Well, hi there and welcome to Home Wizards. I'm Cindy Dole.
Hey, I'm Eric Stromer.
And we love to improve your home and improve your life. And I know you've been worried about your family photos and the whole backup thing, right? To digitize them.
This is a really timely segment. You know, I just downsized my parents into a new home, and what happens is that you discover there are boxes and boxes and albums filled with precious photos and memories, right?
Film strips, maybe.
What do I do
Slides.
with all this stuff? Do I keep it in the box? Maybe it could be, start disintegrating in a storage facility.
What format do you choose?
Is it a shoebox? Is it some kind of a real airtight storage?
Is it in
container?
The cloud?
I don't know.
I know.
These are my questions.
Well, and I'm dealing with the same thing because I have a garage full of slides that were my family slides. In fact, I even have old family movies. And so it's it's overwhelming when you think about all of the decades of precious memories, but it's taken up space and it's not really being preserved the right way. So I thought we could figure out a way to kind of, downsize it and really digitize it so that no matter what your family memories and photos are, whatever format, that they're backed up. They say 2 times. Back them up 2 different ways, right?
Right, and also keep in mind that, paper photos and film strips and, and Super 8 film, all that kind of stuff, it's a finite lifespan. You may get a generation out of it, but it'll really degrade sooner than later, especially the Super 8 film, all that old great film stock. It starts to go on you. So you definitely have to do it sooner than later in terms of the Super 8 stuff. The photos, you get a little extra time. But the film, man, it's gone sooner than later.
And exposure to light,
temperature,
air, all that.
And they spend millions of dollars a year archiving all these old films in Hollywood. I mean, this is a huge business, right? It's preservation of that kind of film stock. So, yeah, there's definitely things that you can do to counteract and switch over to some new storage system.
And the good news is that there's always some new gadgets that you can do if you have the time and you have the energy. I mean, I think a lot of us have this fantasy that, hey, it's going to be a weekend. I'm going to cozy up by a couple of movies and go through photos.
Oh, here's my old high school boyfriend. I wonder how he's doing. And then you're just gone. It's over.
Right. And you realize that it's going to take more than an hour or two. Right?
Absolutely. Oh, man.
You'll be walking down memory lane,
days.
maybe months. And so then you get frustrated and you might have given up. So as you're thinking about the process, there are services it might be worth paying somebody to do it for you, outsourcing this whole task.
Now, let me tell you, I did that and had real success with it. The downside of it is that you don't know their archival organizational systems. We had a guy that worked for us, a beautiful guy named Asaf, and he took them and had them digitized. I'm talking about the films and the photos and everything that was on old hard drives and computers that were taken from old stuff that we had backed up, on and on and on. So you get it back, and then it says photos. And you're like, okay, photos. And then you got to go in the files, and then you have to re-archive them and spend more time organizing. So
because he's not thinking how you think.
He doesn't think how we think, and that's the problem with having someone else organize your quote-unquote organizational system, right? So,
unless, of course, maybe they could give you could either give them instructions and say, okay, I want you to organize it this way. Family, school days, weddings, or something like that.
Yeah,
holidays.
I think, have to put out a little bit of thought on how you'd want to find it again someday in your own library of this archive stuff.
So, but even before you get to that.
But having said that, I got to say,
it was good.
It's better to get
nothing
digitized than not.
Yeah,
so at least it's in a place where it's going to be okay.
And it's saved, exactly.
Right.
So as you're just thinking, let's say you do have a bunch of photos. Maybe they're all over the house. Maybe they're different eras or in different parts. You have a closet where they're all kind of tucked away. Maybe you have a spare room. Maybe you have a garage.
I have all of the above.
All of it. Perfect. Step 1 is to get all of the photos, if you can, in one place.
Right.
You're going right.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, in our garage right now, I have like a village. It's a village of boxes. And it's...
I hear you, man.
But we put them in different zones of this is my mom and dad's photos. These are my, elementary through high school photos. This is this. And now I'll go back, and then now that we have the regions, kind of like a supermarket, then we'll be able to go through and pare it down. So step 1 is to get them in one place. And then step 2 is to get rid of the duds. Now, here's the tricky part.
What is a dud? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Well,
because that dud,
if they're cloudy,
the picture of Tina Gregris from my photo class in 1978, which I think is glory, one of the finest examples of photographic journalism ever in the history of man, is actually a horrible picture. but it's a great memory. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? You know, that's a dud. And so in your book, it would be a dud. You'd be like,
But
this is
for you-
overexposed.
oh,
It
I see.
sucks.
But
This is
it's a good
terrible.
memory.
But it's a
Well,
great
well,
memory.
then that's the
So
that's,
this is where you
that's
come
a
in.
good selection.
There's conflict here.
Yeah, no, it's no conflict. That's your special
Internal.
memory.
It's internal struggle.
But I think that and did you ever have like a child camera? I mean, maybe like you had those early, like as a
Oh, yeah, the
youngster.
Polaroids and
Some of
stuff, yeah.
those, you know. But the key is to try to figure out having all the photos in one place. Try to get rid of some of the duds, or maybe have a box of review as potentials.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then kind of sort it out, you know. And there are a bunch of different ways to start looking at your slides, at your film strips, at your photos. And you're going to have to kind of come up with a system so you can look at as many at once as possible.
Well, just off the top of your head, what would you suggest for a system? Especially when it's a couple and it's two different sets of memories. So you got yours, your spouse, their parents, your parents. I mean, do you do it that way, do you think? Or
Yeah, sure.
what would you do?
Individuals, like the growing up years and then the married years and then the ancestry, you know?
Okay.
And then as you're clearing through the clutter, you're deciding which ones, because you want to keep some physical photos too.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe think of 75% digital, 25% physical, because it's nice to have some of those hand-hold photos that you can put in an album or make a book. Like you
Right.
guys make the Stromer book.
We do the book every year.
Yeah,
Which
which is
actually is
great.
amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
And you kind of do sort through stuff to create the book in the first place. So theory would have it that if you find the best of year 2013, say, you could really just take all the photos and get them out of your life because you've got the best of the best. But, you know, you never feel like I can... That's when he learned how to crawl. I can't throw that one out, you know.
Well, so that's when you're going to, we're going to talk about some of the different things that you can get to scan your photos. There's a bunch of
Yes.
things that you can buy right now for about $100. Epson makes a really good one where you can lay them out, scan them, and save them so you won't feel the
That's
guilt.
great.
Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, you're listening to Home Wizards. We have some more ways to help you not feel the pain as you condense and digitize those memories. You're listening to Home Wizards.